The alarm clock buzzed softly at 5:30 a.m., its gentle hum filling the quiet bedroom. Sam reached out from under the warm covers and silenced it with a practiced hand. He lay there for a moment, listening to the early morning stillness, feeling the comforting weight of Emma's hand resting on his arm. The first light of dawn was beginning to creep through the curtains, painting the room in soft gray hues. Sam carefully slipped out of bed, trying not to wake Emma. He moved through their small apartment with the ease of habit. The old wooden floor creaked under his feet, a familiar sound that echoed the start of another day. In the kitchen, Sam put on a pot of coffee and began preparing breakfast. The scent of freshly brewed coffee soon filled the air, mingling with the quiet sounds of the waking world outside. The apartment was simple, cozy. The walls were adorned with photos of Sam and Emma on various adventures, hiking in the mountains, visiting the coast, or just laughing together in their favorite cafe. There were also bookshelves filled with Emma's cookbooks and Sam's collection of poetry. Everything had its place, just like their morning routine. Emma appeared in the doorway, her hair tousled from sleep, a soft smile on her face. "Morning, Sam," she said, her voice still sleepy. "Morning, Emma," Sam replied, returning her smile. He poured her a cup of coffee and set it on the table beside her usual spot. They sat together in comfortable silence, eating toast and scrambled eggs, sipping coffee, and occasionally exchanging a few words about the day ahead. Sam cherished these quiet moments with Emma, the simple start to their day. It was a routine, yes, but one that held a certain beauty in its familiarity. After breakfast, Sam kissed Emma goodbye and left the apartment, stepping out into the crisp morning air. The town was still waking up, with only a few early risers out and about. Sam walked to the bus depot, the cool breeze brushing against his face, and he took in the peaceful surroundings. The streets were lined with trees, their leaves rustling softly in the wind, and the sky was painted in shades of pink and orange as the sun began to rise. Sam arrived at the depot, greeting a few of his colleagues with a nod and a smile. He climbed into his bus, a familiar friend that had carried him through countless days. The bus, like Sam, was steady and reliable, its seats worn but comfortable. He adjusted the mirrors, started the engine, and soon the bus was rumbling gently beneath him as he began his first route of the day. As he drove through the town, Sam's eyes wandered to the world outside his window. The streets were slowly coming to life. Shop owners opening their doors, children waiting for school buses, people walking their dogs. Sam observed it all with a quiet appreciation, finding poetry in the mundane. He noticed the way the sunlight filtered through the trees, casting long shadows on the pavement. He saw a young couple sharing a quiet conversation on a park bench, their heads close together as they spoke. He caught a glimpse of a small dog chasing its own tail in a front yard, its owner laughing at the sight. These moments, though ordinary, were like verses in a poem, each one contributing to the rhythm of the day. As he drove, Sam's mind began to shape a poem, inspired by the sunrise he had witnessed earlier. The words came to him slowly, naturally, like the gentle unfolding of the morning itself. A golden thread of morning light weaves through the silent trees, a new day born in gentle hues, whispering in the breeze. He repeated the lines to himself, savoring their simplicity and the way they captured the essence of the morning. When he reached a stop with no passengers waiting, Sam quickly jotted down the poem in his small notebook, the one he always kept in his shirt pocket. He smiled as he wrote, feeling a quiet satisfaction. The bus continued on its route, the day unfolding just as it always did. But to Sam, each day was unique, a new opportunity to find beauty in the routine, to capture the fleeting moments of life in his poetry. And as he drove through the familiar streets, Sam felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that even in the most ordinary of days, there was always something worth cherishing. Tuesday morning began much like the day before, with the soft chime of the alarm pulling Sam from his dreams. The routine was comforting. He and Emma shared their quiet breakfast, exchanged small smiles and words of encouragement for the day ahead. But today, as Sam stepped onto his bus, he felt a subtle shift in the air, as if something was waiting to unfold. The first few hours of Sam's route were calm, the town still rubbing the sleep from its eyes. The bus glided through the familiar streets, picking up regular passengers who greeted Sam with nods and small talk. Sam responded in kind, but his mind was elsewhere. lingering on the lines of poetry he had written the day before. It was mid-morning when two passengers boarded the bus, catching Sam's attention. They were young, perhaps in their early 20s, with an air of excitement and energy that stood out against the quiet backdrop of the morning. They sat near the front, just behind Sam, their voices a soft murmur as they continued a conversation that seemed to have started long before they got on the bus. Sam couldn't help but listen as he navigated the bus through the town. The young man, with tousled hair and a worn backpack, spoke with passion about his dream of becoming a musician. He described late nights spent strumming his guitar, writing songs that spoke to his soul. His friend, a woman with bright eyes and a sketchbook balanced on her knees, shared her aspirations of becoming an artist. She talked about the way she saw the world in colors and shapes, how she longed to capture the beauty of everyday moments in her drawings. Their conversation was filled with hope and a sense of possibility that Sam found both inspiring and bittersweet. As he listened, he couldn't help but reflect on his own dreams. Dreams of being a poet, of seeing his words in print, of sharing the way he saw the world through his verses. It was a dream he had nurtured quietly, like a small flame in his heart, keeping it alive even as life had taken him down other paths. The bus stopped at a traffic light, and Sam glanced in the rearview mirror, watching the young pair as they continued to talk, their words weaving a tapestry of dreams and aspirations. He saw in them the same spark he had felt when he was their age, a belief that anything was possible, that the world was theirs to shape and create. As the bus rolled on, Sam's thoughts drifted to his own journey. He had chosen a steady, reliable path, one that provided him with a sense of security and contentment. But the dream of being a poet had never left him. It was there in the quiet moments, in the words he scribbled in his notebook, in the way he saw the world through a poet's eyes. When Sam's lunch break finally arrived, he parked the bus at the depot and headed to a small park nearby. It was a peaceful spot, with a few benches scattered among tall trees and a small pond where ducks paddled lazily. Sam found a bench in the shade and sat down, taking out his notebook. The conversation he had overheard lingered in his mind, and he felt the familiar urge to put his thoughts into words. He began to write, the pen moving across the page with a quiet urgency. Dreams, like seeds in fertile ground, rooted deep yet reaching high. They grow in whispers, soft yet profound, a promise carried by the sky. Sam paused, reading over the lines. The words felt right, capturing the essence of what he had heard that morning. He continued, his thoughts flowing freely now. In every heart, a dream resides, a spark that lights the darkest night. It drives us forward, where hope abides, and gives our souls the will to fight. As he wrote, Sam felt a sense of connection with those two young passengers. Their dreams were different from his own, yet they were all bound by the same desire to create, to express, to leave a mark on the world. Sam realized that dreams, no matter how big or small, had the power to shape our lives, to give them meaning and direction. When he finished the poem, Sam sat back and took a deep breath, feeling a quiet satisfaction. He knew that the life he had chosen was a good one, but he also knew that his dream of being a poet was something he could continue to nurture. It didn't matter if he ever became famous, or if his poems were read by many. What mattered was that he was true to himself, that he allowed his words to flow, to capture the world as he saw it. As Sam folded his notebook and prepared to head back to work, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The conversation he had overheard had reminded him of the power of dreams, of how they could inspire and guide us even in the most ordinary of days. And as he climbed back onto his bus, Sam carried with him a quiet resolve to keep writing, to keep dreaming, and to keep finding poetry in the world around him. Wednesday morning dawned with a soft light filtering through the curtains, casting a gentle glow over the town. Sam woke to the familiar sounds of the world outside, birds chirping, the distant hum of traffic, and the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze. It was another day, like any other. And yet Sam had learned that even the most ordinary days could hold unexpected moments of beauty. After the usual morning routine with Emma, Sam headed out to his bus, feeling a sense of calm as he stepped into the driver's seat. The bus rumbled to life, and soon he was on his route, greeting the morning commuters with his customary nod and warm smile. The first half of the day passed uneventfully, with the usual passengers boarding and disembarking, exchanging brief words of greeting with Sam. But as the clock ticked closer to noon, something unusual happened. At one of the stops, a young girl, no more than 8 years old, climbed aboard with her mother. The girl, with curly brown hair and a bright pink backpack, looked up at Sam with wide, curious eyes. Sam smiled at her, as he did with all his passengers. But this time, the girl smiled back with an intensity that caught him off guard. As the bus started moving again, the girl continued to watch Sam, her small hands clutching something tightly. When the bus reached her stop, she stood up, but instead of walking straight to the door, she approached Sam at the front of the bus. "Hi," she said in a soft, shy voice. "Hello there," Sam replied, his smile widening. "Where are you headed today?" The girl's mother, standing by the door, called her name. "Lily, we need to go, sweetie." But Lily seemed determined to say something. She held out her hand, revealing a small, handmade bookmark. It was made from a piece of cardboard covered in colorful drawings of flowers and hearts, with a ribbon attached at the top. "This is for you," Lily said, her voice filled with a quiet confidence that belied her shy demeanor. "You're always so nice, and I wanted to say thank you." Sam was taken aback, his heart warmed by the unexpected gesture. He gently took the bookmark from Lily's hand, his fingers brushing against the soft ribbon. "Thank you, Lily. This is beautiful. I'll treasure it." Lily beamed up at him, her eyes sparkling with happiness. "I'm glad you like it. Bye, Mr. Bus Driver." She waved enthusiastically as she and her mother exited the bus. Sam watched them go, the bookmark held delicately in his hand. For a moment he sat there, the bus idling at the stop, as he absorbed the kindness of the small gesture. It was such a simple thing, and yet it carried so much meaning. He carefully placed the bookmark in his notebook, sliding it between the pages where he kept his poems. It felt right to keep it there, among the words that held a special place in his heart. Every time he opened the notebook, he would be reminded of Lily's kindness, of the way small gestures could brighten a day and leave a lasting impact. As the day went on, Sam found himself thinking about the encounter with Lily. It was a reminder that even in the hustle and bustle of life, there were moments of connection, moments when people reached out to one another in simple, heartfelt ways. He thought about how such gestures, though small, could create ripples, spreading warmth and kindness far beyond the moment they were given. That evening, when Sam returned home, he shared the story with Emma. They sat together at the kitchen table, the evening light casting a warm glow over the room. "A little girl gave me this today," Sam said, taking the bookmark from his notebook and showing it to Emma. Emma took the bookmark, her face lighting up with a smile. "It's lovely. How sweet of her to make this for you." "I know," Sam replied, his voice soft with emotion. "It was such a small thing, but it really touched me. It made me think about how powerful kindness can be, even in the simplest forms." Emma nodded, her eyes thoughtful. "It's true. We often underestimate the impact of small acts of kindness. They can change someone's entire day, maybe even their outlook on life." As they talked, Sam felt the urge to capture his thoughts in a poem, to put into words the feelings that had been stirred by Lily's gesture. After dinner, he sat down with his notebook, the bookmark resting beside him, and began to write. A simple gift, a ribbon card, with colors bright and true, a child's heart, so pure and kind, gives warmth when skies are blue. The words flowed easily, inspired by the day's events. In little hands, a gesture sweet, a token from the heart. It lights the way, a gentle spark that kindness can impart. Sam smiled as he finished the poem, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the unexpected surprise that Wednesday had brought. The day had started like any other, but it had reminded him that life was full of small wonders, of moments that could touch the heart in ways that lingered long after the day was done. He placed the bookmark back in his notebook, a symbol of the kindness he had received and the reminder that even the smallest gestures could make the world a brighter place. And as he prepared for bed, Sam knew that the simple act of giving could ripple out, spreading warmth and joy far beyond what anyone could imagine. Thursday arrived with a sky heavy with dark clouds, the promise of rain hanging in the air. The first drops began to fall just as Sam stepped out of his apartment, a light drizzle that quickly turned into a steady downpour. He pulled up the hood of his jacket, feeling the coolness of the rain on his face as he made his way to the bus depot. The world around him seemed to slow down, muffled by the curtain of rain, as if the town itself was caught in a moment of quiet reflection. Sam climbed into his bus, shaking off the droplets that clung to his jacket. The windows fogged up almost immediately, and he wiped them clear with the back of his hand, watching as the rain streaked down the glass in thin, meandering lines. The town looked different in the rain, softer, quieter, as if the rain had washed away the sharp edges of the world, leaving everything bathed in a gentle, muted light. As the bus rumbled to life and Sam began his route, the sound of rain tapping against the roof became a constant companion. It was a soothing sound, one that seemed to match the rhythm of Sam's thoughts as they began to drift inward, toward the quiet places of his mind. The streets were nearly empty, the usual hustle and bustle replaced by a peaceful stillness. Sam drove through the familiar neighborhoods, his thoughts swirling like the raindrops on the windshield. The rain had a way of bringing out the reflective side of him, of making him pause and think about the things he often pushed to the back of his mind. He thought about Emma, about the life they had built together in their small, cozy apartment. Their life was simple, but it was filled with moments of quiet joy, like the mornings they spent together before he headed out for work, or the evenings they shared over dinner, talking about their days. Sam knew he was lucky to have found someone who understood him, someone who appreciated the small things in life as much as he did. As the rain continued to fall, Sam found himself thinking about his passion for poetry, about the way words had always been a part of him. He remembered the first poem he had ever written, a simple verse about a tree he had seen outside his childhood window. Even then, he had felt the pull of words, the way they could capture a moment, a feeling, a piece of the world, and hold it forever in the lines of a poem. But life had a way of leading him down other paths, and while he had never stopped writing, his poetry had become more of a private joy, something he kept to himself. Driving the bus, with its steady routine and quiet moments, had given him the space to reflect, to observe, and to write. It was a different kind of life than he had once imagined, but it was a life he was grateful for. The rain grew heavier, the sound of it drumming against the bus now a steady roar. The windshield wipers moved back and forth in a relentless rhythm, clearing away the water only for it to return moments later. Sam watched the world through the streaks of rain, his thoughts turning to the challenges he had faced, the moments of doubt and uncertainty that had marked his journey. The rain, he realized, was like those challenges, unpredictable, sometimes overwhelming, but always followed by a sense of renewal. Just as the rain nourished the earth, allowing new life to grow, so too did life's challenges help him grow, shaping him into the person he had become. As he drove through the rain-soaked streets, Sam felt a poem forming in his mind, the words coming together like drops of water gathering into a stream. When he reached a stop with no passengers waiting, he pulled out his notebook, the bookmark Lily had given him, still tucked between the pages, and began to write. The rain, it falls, a steady beat, a song that whispers in the night. It washes clean the dusty streets and brings the earth a gentle light. Sam paused, watching as the rain danced on the pavement outside, the world blurred and softened by the downpour. He continued writing, the words flowing easily now. In every drop, a quiet prayer, a hope for all that lies ahead. The rain, it soothes, it mends, it cares, and guides us where our hearts are led. The poem captured what Sam had been feeling, the way life's challenges, like the rain, could be difficult to endure, but also held the potential for growth, for renewal. The rain wasn't something to be feared or resented. It was a part of the natural cycle, a necessary step in the process of becoming. As the afternoon wore on, the rain began to lighten, the clouds slowly breaking apart to reveal glimpses of blue sky. The town, once shrouded in gray, was now coming back to life, the colors of the buildings and trees more vibrant after the cleansing rain. Sam felt a sense of peace as he drove the final leg of his route, his thoughts calm and clear. The rain had given him a chance to reflect, to think about his life, his relationships, and his passions. It had reminded him that even in the midst of challenges, there was always the potential for something new to grow, for something beautiful to emerge. When Sam returned to the depot at the end of the day, the sun was beginning to set, casting a warm golden light over the wet streets. He stepped off the bus and took a deep breath, the air fresh and clean after the rain. As he walked home, Sam felt a renewed sense of purpose, a quiet determination to continue finding meaning in the everyday moments, to keep writing, and to embrace the challenges that life brought his way. The rain had passed, but its lessons lingered, like the words of a poem etched into his heart. Friday morning greeted Sam with a soft, golden light that streamed through the window, casting a warm glow over the bedroom. The weather had cleared after Thursday's rain, leaving the air crisp and fresh. Sam stretched under the covers, savoring the peaceful start to the day. There was something about Fridays that always brought a sense of quiet joy, a feeling of contentment that came with the end of the week. As usual, Sam and Emma shared breakfast together, their familiar routine unfolding like a well-loved story. The kitchen was filled with the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the sound of toast popping from the toaster. They spoke of their plans for the weekend, nothing elaborate, just a visit to the local farmer's market and perhaps a walk by the river. It was these simple moments that Sam cherished the most, the unspoken bond between them that had grown stronger with each passing day. After breakfast, Sam headed out to the bus depot, feeling a lightness in his step. The sky was a brilliant blue, dotted with a few fluffy clouds, and the town seemed to glow in the morning light. As he climbed into his bus and started the engine, Sam felt a wave of contentment wash over him. It had been a good week, filled with small surprises, moments of reflection, and the steady rhythm of routine that he found so comforting. The morning passed smoothly, the streets bustling with people eager to start their Friday. Sam greeted each passenger with a smile, his heart light with the anticipation of the weekend ahead. He noticed the way the sunlight filtered through the trees, casting playful shadows on the pavement, and he made a mental note of the scene, storing it away for a future poem. As the day moved on, the bus began to fill with people heading home, their faces relaxed as they looked forward to their own weekend plans. Sam enjoyed these moments, observing the small interactions between passengers, the shared smiles, the quiet conversations, the way people seemed to come alive as the weekend drew near. It was late afternoon when Sam reached the last stop of his route. The bus was nearly empty, just a few stragglers left on board. As he pulled up to the stop, he noticed a young woman standing by the curb, her eyes scanning the street with an air of anticipation. The moment the bus stopped, a wide smile spread across the woman's face as she spotted someone getting off the bus. The man who had just disembarked took one look at the woman and broke into a grin, quickening his pace as he approached her. They met in a warm embrace, the woman laughing as she wrapped her arms around him. Sam watched the reunion with a smile of his own, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction at witnessing such a simple yet profound moment of happiness. As the bus doors closed and Sam began his journey back to the depot, he reflected on what he had seen. It was moments like these that reminded him of the beauty in everyday life, the quiet joy that could be found in the simplest of things, a smile, a touch, a moment shared between two people. He realized that it was these small, fleeting moments that made life so rich, so full of meaning. That evening, Sam and Emma decided to go out for dinner at their favorite local diner. It was a modest place with worn booths and a menu that hadn't changed in years, but it was comfortable, familiar, and filled with memories. They sat by the window, the setting sun casting a warm amber light over the table as they talked about their day. Emma told Sam about a new recipe she wanted to try over the weekend, and Sam shared the story of the couple he had seen reuniting at the bus stop. They laughed together, enjoying each other's company, the conversation flowing easily as it always did. There was no need for grand gestures or all elaborate plans. They were happy just to be together, sharing a meal, relishing the quiet joy that came from being with someone who understood and loved them. After dinner, they took a leisurely walk home, the evening air cool and refreshing. The town was quiet now, the hustle of the day replaced by the soft hum of nightfall. Sam held Emma's hand as they walked, feeling a deep sense of contentment. Life was good, steady, predictable, but full of moments that made it all worthwhile. When they arrived home, Sam sat down with his notebook, the week's events still fresh in his mind. He wanted to capture the feeling of the day, the sense of peace and happiness that had filled his heart. The words came easily, a reflection of the simple pleasures he had come to cherish. In quiet hours, the day unwinds, a gentle breeze through open doors. We find our joy in simple times, in love that's shared, in peace that's yours. He paused, thinking back to the couple at the bus stop, to the way their faces had lit up when they saw each other. A smile, a touch, a warm embrace. These moments fill our hearts with light. In every glance, in every face, we find our way through darkest night. As Sam finished the poem, he felt a deep sense of satisfaction, not just with the words he had written, but with the life he had chosen. The week had been full of small moments, each one adding to the quiet joy that filled his days. And as he closed his notebook, the bookmark Lily had given him tucked safely inside, Sam knew that he would continue to find poetry in the everyday, in the simple beauty of routine, and in the happiness that came from a life well lived. Emma joined him on the couch, resting her head on his shoulder as they sat together in the quiet of their home. The week was ending, but the contentment Sam felt lingered, a reminder that in the steady rhythm of life, there was always joy to be found. And with that, Sam closed his eyes, ready to welcome whatever small surprises and quiet joys the weekend might bring.